What is going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings play their first preseason game of the 2023 season in Seattle late tonight on Thursday, and we're still battling the voice battle of Thermopylae. Now, it's not as bad as, so it used to sound like the Men's Warehouse guy. You're gonna like the way you look, I guarantee it. And then it became like Michael Rooker, and now it's like a little bit Barry White, my darling, I can't get enough of your love, babe. But either way, we're persevering, we're pressing through, and we have a list of players that we can't wait to see tonight in preseason. Now, it goes beyond I can't wait to see Kirk Cousins. I can't wait to see Danielle Hunter if he plays in preseason. I don't know, but again, 22 generally youngish players to watch for preseason game. You know what I mean? Next up, first up, number 2. 22 running back Ty Chandler, second-year man, last year's preseason superstar, and a guy who could slide in and be the Vikings running back 2 this upcoming season. Adds that speed, shiftiness, dynamic, great receiver as well. Also, with King Kene dinged up, Chandler is in the kick return mix as well. Next up, 21. Edge rusher Marcus Davenport. Now, TBD if he's going to play. He's had minor injuries here and there, but actually seeing him on the field, actually seeing what his role is going to be in the Florida's defense, and see if he could pan out on that potential that made him a first-round pick, number 14 overall back in the day. Yeah, would love to see that. 20. A wide receiver, N'Keal Harry. So, former first-round pick, big-bodied, outside-the-number receiver, formerly of Arizona State. Never really got the time of day with the Patriots, and spent last year with the Bears. But, I mean, his first practice, he looked kind of good. And this is a pure mama, I can change him situation. And can he do enough to earn a practice squad spot? Because he does bring a little bit something different in terms of just being that big-bodied receiver, as well as he's fantastic in the run blocking game. Can he be like that big slot receiver in the Vikings offense? 19. Guard center Josh Sokol. So last year's UDFA out of, yes, Sacred Hat. He's been working a lot with the second team offensive line, mainly at guard. He came in as a center, so that versatility is big, except at center, second team, you do have Austin Schlutman. So a guy who is rising up, a guy who could really add some nice depth and versatility, as well as youth along the offensive line. That's always going to be intriguing to me. 18. Kicker Jack Podlesny, the pride of Georgia. Now, he and Greg Joseph, their kicking competition has been relatively close. This isn't like a Gabe Burkett situation from last offseason. And I mean, the Vikings aren't above going with the young guy if they think that the young guy could pan out. Whether that's Ryan Wright last year supplanting the veteran Jordan Berry, and Greg Joseph. I mean, he had his moments last year, but also he had his moments last year. And Joseph is due around $2.5 million in salary, none of it guaranteed. So the Vikings want to pinch some pennies, save around $1.5 million in cap. Go with the young guy. Next up, number 17. Left tackle, Vidarian Lowe. So Vidarian Lowe's been running with the 2s at backup left tackle. And Lowe is interesting because he came in as like a super senior out of Illinois, but good physicality. They liked him. They kept him on the 53 last year. And if he could eventually rise up to be the primary backup left tackle for Christian Darrisaw, that would be huge. 16. Safety Jay Ward. So Jay Ward is going to be phenomenal on special teams. It wouldn't shock me at all if he comes in and blocks a punt at some point this season. I had a couple at LSU from back in the day, and also we know that Matt Daniels loves going after him. And I think that he is going to develop into a fun, versatile safety where he plays the role that Flores already has envisioned for Metellus. And with Metellus in a contract year, that could be big. And Jay Ward can play outside, inside, can play split safety. He can play single high. He can do a lot of things, and he plays with a physicality and aggression and just a good attitude and a swagger that you love to see. 15. Defensive end Osezi Otamwo. Now, Osezi got a handful of snaps last year along the defensive line. Good things did seem to happen, but I think with his leadership, I think with his team-first attitude, I think his ability to stop the run, I think that he could work his way into the rotation along the defensive line very soon. 14. Tight end Josh Oliver. Now, TBD how much the starters are going to play, but with Hawkinson sidelined with the illness, I mean, I want to see what Josh Oliver can do. Well, not only as a blocker, but that's a given, but also as a receiver, especially down in the red zone. I mean, Josh Oliver and N'Keal Harry may be the most ginormous tight ends and receivers I've ever seen. It's crazy, man. 13, wide receiver Jalen Reagor. Now, Jalen is in the final year of his rookie deal. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option for obvious reasons, and he was still a first-round pick. He was still a first-round pick taken ahead of Justin Jefferson. And he does have speed. He does have quickness. He does have versatility. But last year, I mean, he came in right before the start of the season, wasn't really dialed into the playbook, and it showed. But now he's a little bit more comfortable. He's making plays. Can he salvage himself a roster spot? We'll see. 12, Blake Prohl. So a guy who's coming off a torn ACL and a guy who was sort of like the diet Adam Thielen, was sort of adopted by the Thielens, but he's really starting to make plays in his own right. He's starting to look really good working with the twos, and can that carry over? The voice of an angel, can that carry over and secure him a roster spot? Next up, number 11 player I'm excited to see in preseason, Khyiris Tonga. I just have a thing about nose tackles, man. And Tonga coming over from the Bears last year, every single time he was on the field, some good things happened. And he's penciled in as a starter now. And what's beautiful is that he's a true blue, 330-pound, one tech, zero tech, and he's going to free up Harrison Phillips to do Harrison Phillips things, where Harrison won't be just stuck on the nose, where he fought the good fight last year, except it wasn't the role that he's meant to play. And Tonga was going to be great against the run. He's good at getting his hands up against the pass, as well as I think he's underrated as a pass rusher. I think that he's a guy who could start and should start for the next couple years. Number 10, running back Dwayne McBride. Yes. All right, so Pride of UAB, FBS rushing champ. Of course, we know that he's got great agility. He's got great balance. He's got great contact balance as well. He's got very good vision. He's a very patient runner. And, can he contribute as a receiver? We'll see. Number 9. Whoops. Safety Lewis Cine. So Cine has been playing some pretty damn inspired football, and yes, he is running with the twos, but his aggression, his wanting to prove the haters and the losers wrong, him coming back from that broken leg, I think that you're going to see it in preseason, man. It wouldn't shock me at all if Lewis Cine stacks up a couple of bodies tonight in preseason against Seattle. 8. Also Lewis Cine. Cornerback Mekhi Blackman, third-round pick coming in at USC. You love the versatility. You love the competitive edge. He was very highly regarded and rated as a Trojan last year. And also, he's worked his way in with the ones, working primarily on the outside. He's also worked in the slot a little bit during OTAs. And I think that he has a great attitude, and I think that he is a guy who potentially could be a starting cornerback week 1 with Evans and Murph. Number 7. Asama. So Brian Asama finally getting the time of day. Last year's third-round pick out of Oklahoma. He's flying around. He is making plays. He truly is a heat-seeking missile, and he is going to be a starter. Asama and Hicks, it seems to be the favorites at off-ball linebacker right now, but we'll get to Pace Jr. here in a sec. But Asama is the modern-day off-ball linebacker. He's got speed to run with receivers, running backs, and tight ends, and also he's got great instincts getting after the football. And also Flores is going to use him as a blitzer this year. 6, Jaquelin Roy. So the 5th-round pick, rookie out of LSU. He's been rotating in and out with the first team, and he's had some really good one-on-one reps, and now we want to see it in a game situation. And he's the type of player who, basically a one-year starter at LSU. His best football is ahead of him. He's still ascending. So I can't wait to see Jaquelin Roy. Next up, number 5, Ed Ingram. Yes. Ed Ingram started last year. He won the right guard job. He played every single offensive snap last year. Returns were kind of uneven. I think that he did settle down and improve towards the end of last year. But we've said this a bunch. The best thing about his game last year as a rookie was run blocking. The best thing about his game in college was pass blocking. And there was a lot of concern about his run blocking, and his pass blocking sucked last year. So if he can put it all together, he does have a great anchor. He does have a good base. I think that he does mirror match very well on the inside. So I think that Ed Ingram, he has all the tools, but will the game slow down enough for him in year 2 that he can rise up and become an adequate starting guard? Hoping yes. Starts with the preseason. Number 4, Jaren Hall. Yeah. Look at her. You look at me. Think about her constantly. She don't know how I feel. All right. So Jaren Hall. That's a deep reference, by the way. So Jaren Hall. is going to be operating the Vikings third-team offense behind Nick Mullins, and TBD how much the starters are going to play. But Jaren Hall is going to get a very good look. He's got a very live arm. I think he's a good leader. I think he's got a little bit of moxie to him. He's got some running ability as well. And I think put it together in a game situation, I think that Jaren Hall could turn a lot of heads and maybe get into the conversation about the quarterback of the future. Next up, number 3. Andre Carter II. So just off a pup, he's only participated in a handful of practices. So maybe towards the end of the game, he'll get a fistful of snaps. But I mean, he's guaranteed $340K. He's likely going to make the 53. He does have the tools and the bend to become a very good situational pass rusher to start, and maybe a very well-rounded edge rusher at the end of the day. So also seeing 55 out there, the way that Anthony DeBar should have been deployed all these years, it's kind of interesting, man. Number 2, Jordan Addison. So Kevin O'Connell has said that Addison is going to play in the preseason game, and just have him play one preseason game, maybe one series or 2 series, and just let him show off his separation skills, because that's what he brings to the table. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's not going to shy away from. And I think the Vikings, we were introduced to him with the speeding ticket. But I think since then he's put on a show in practices day after day, and now putting it on television would be huge. Lastly, number 1, yes, we know what it is. And it's not just hype from us. It's Brian Flores putting him with the first team. It's Brian Flores hyping him up. It's Harrison Smith hyping him up. So Pace Jr., could this be a spot where he actually, maybe not a starting spot, but he secures himself a very large role on this defense as a UDFA? And frankly, he shouldn't have been. Given what he did at Cincinnati, unanimous All-American, 150-plus tackles, 9-plus sacks, all the pressures, where the only reason he got dinged was because of his height. It's baloney, man. But he plays like his hair is on fire, and every single down is the Alamo. He plays like it's his last one. Something I love. And I think Pace and Osawa going forward is going to be fantastic, man. But that's it. That's a very extended list of players that we're excited to watch tonight. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.